thank you everybody for coming to the Robert Mukes and Tom Towles panel. So let's get started. How did you guys get into acting?
Excuse me. He got first billing?
Did you see the size? Have you seen the size of him? Yes, of course.
Oh, yes, sorry.
And I'm a little bit more current, I guess.
What with, oh, yeah, man, don't let me get in the way of your DirecTV commercial. We have been doing this for the last 36 hours. Sorry, please.
So how do we get into movies? That's what the question.
That was the question was?
Yeah,
It's the first one.
No, please. You're top billing. I want you to go first.
I thought you warmed up the stage for me, then it was going to be mine. So I'll go first, guys. It was a long journey, you know. I was born in 1964 in Indiana. No, it was. I played basketball until I was 30, and my father lives in Los Angeles, and like towards the end of basketball, I was negotiating, trying to get a little extra pay so I could, you know, buy a house and all that good stuff. I played basketball in Europe for 5 years, and it didn't happen. And this one big time agent called me, and I got super excited because he was an agent for the bigger leagues that I hadn't made it to in Europe. And he left a message back then, no cell phones and pagers. And so I called him back, all excited, thinking I was going to go to Spain or Italy as opposed to Germany or Luxembourg, where it's all cold and stuff. And he says, do you want to try out for a commercial? I'm like, what's that? You know, I'm not Larry Bird or Magic Johnson. People don't want me on TV for a commercial, being a basketball guy. And it was like for a Burger King commercial, eating a hamburger, and after shooting baskets or whatever, just a casual picnic scene. And I went to the audition, and I didn't get it. I booked a third audition after that as a basketball dude. But after that, I started looking at television different, and I saw these big bad dudes on TV sitting out for more money, waiting for a contract. Never happened. I started getting bigger and stronger, thicker from not running, playing basketball. My hair started getting long. I'm like, shucks, I could be some mean dude on TV. And that was kind of like the beginning of it. So the rest is history.
Tom, how about you?
Oh, it's my turn.
Yeah.
I actually got started in live theater in Chicago following a woman into a theater class. I was in a school for motion picture, television, and theater, and on a scholarship. I'd just gotten out of the Marine Corps, and I had to have an elective. I thought I was going to be like a director of photography or something, and one of the options was a thing called music in the theater. And what it was basically, it was a huge party that took place every Saturday where kids of varying degrees of talent got together and played instruments and put on what they called a rock cantata. The thing that was fascinating about it is that that's where all the girls went. Every woman in the school was there. So naturally, I couldn't go anywhere else. And from that point on, it was like, basically what happened is the guy who was in charge of the theater department saw me do something. He said, have you ever thought about being an actor? I said, I don't know. Could I make a living at it? He says, I don't know. You want to get high? That's my entire career right there. You know, I've had a tremendous amount of fun, and I'm still fascinated by women.
I'm more about to get out of part.
I don't get as high anymore. I can't. It interferes with the women. It's like,
For me,
oh baby, who are you again? So that part is over. But actually, what I discovered was that it was more fun than I ever thought I could possibly have. And sadly, that's what I pursued in terms of a career, was having fun. It wasn't sad. I mean, I enjoyed it tremendously, but there's a business aspect to it that I never quite got or even wanted to get. You know, I'm having fun, which is one of the reasons working with Rob is so great. It's the epitome of fun, he'll tell you. I mean, you almost can't do anything wrong, and from the moment you get on set, it's like, oh my God, this is so much fun. It's like being in the sandbox when you're 5 years old, and they pay you, and you get horribly brutalized in the most magnificent way, and you're going, oh, this is so cool. I love this shit. And that's why I do it. And again, it beats working for a living, which I'm completely emotionally unsuited to.
So, Robert, we have heard all the stories from Sid and Bill about their characters, but your character of Rufus in Corpses, did Rob give you any background or on that character, the family, or did you just kind of be the muscle? What was his, motivation to you?
Rufus Jr. didn't have much dialogue, although I analyzed the script. And so during wardrobe, I asked Rob, like, what's the vibe of this dude? And he's like, you're just like a big, badass dude. If anybody messes with the family, your job is to be a hammer, the muscle. And so there wasn't much detail other than that. Just walk around ready to kick somebody's ass was the vibe that I tried to have on the film.
Do any of you remember filming anything that didn't make it into the final cut of the film?
I don't know, Tom.
Honestly, I don't. It was such an efficient and spare shoot. I mean, he only had so much money. It had to be done in a certain amount of time, and he had a lot that he wanted to get into it. And for a first-time director, Rob was absolutely phenomenal. I've worked with a lot of first-time directors, and the process, everybody says, oh, I want to direct it, it'd be so wonderful. No, directing is a study in sleep deprivation. There's Hell Week for the Navy SEALs, which lasts about 2 weeks, where they don't get any sleep and they're constantly brutalized physically. For a director, it's anywhere from 4 to 12 weeks while you're in production. And nobody takes that into consideration. I've seen guys just literally fade completely in the middle of a shoot. Rob never faltered once. And I asked him why, and he said, man, I'm used to moving a rock and roll show around the world. That's like moving a circus. This is nothing. And he was absolutely right. He had a clear vision, he knew what he wanted, and more importantly, he knew how to enjoy the process with his actors. So you get a lot of latitude, I mean a lot of latitude. But then you have people like Karen Black and Rob working together, and Bill Moseley and Sid Hay. And then I had Walton Goggins, who was just beginning his career, who turns out to be just this phenomenal guy to work with and improvise with. So it's nothing but, again, it goes back to the it's play. It's pure fun. And you can do anything you want. If he likes it, it's going to be in the movie. If he doesn't, he says, nah, we'll try something else. But to have that sort of freedom and trust at any point in time when you're making a movie is phenomenal, and it adds to the structure of everything. You see it in every frame. I mean, everybody in all of his movies is completely committed to what he wants. That is an extension of his ability to make you comfortable and literally happy while you're being killed. It's an amazing gift. He's very, very, very articulate and powerful in that sense.
I agree with Tom. On the set, Rob and because I didn't know the story of how he was challenged with the rock and roll band and touring the world with that, but he seemed so relaxed, almost like a lifeguard kicking back, not a sandbox, but a swimming pool, and we're just all playing and having fun, and he has some hell of a character actors on it, Karen, Tom, Sid, etc., Bill, that not to seem condescending, it didn't seem like Rob was doing very much. He was just mellow, kick back, shoot, da-da-da. He talked a little bit with the DP, etc. We moved on to the next scene. I was like, wow, what a cool job. It's not too hard to direct, but because he was just so mellow with everything. But it came out awesome, and of course behind the scenes, as he said, pre-production, post-production, editing, all that's on his choices, and the writing, etc., and so on, his vision, choosing the camera angles and dialogue, and etc., and so on. So it was very, very relaxing, like playing in a sandbox or swimming in a swimming pool, and the lifeguard's just up there kind of kicking back and making sure you don't play too rough, and drown,
Yeah, no, you're very safe.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Now, you had quite a few scenes with Sherry. Tell us what it was like working with her, and how you were able to concentrate on working.
Well, she's attractive and everything, but I like more voluptuous women, so I wasn't really challenged in that regard. But and then I'm trying to focus and make sure I do a good job playing basketball. For a long time, there's always been cheerleaders and fans, etc., smiling. But she was green, but very confident, you know. And she did a great job. It seemed like she was having fun. I guess post-shooting, she had a difficult time with the whole stabbing of the rabbit. And as the rabbit was running across the field or whatever, she caught up with the girl and did all that action. But it seemed like she was enjoying it. To me, it filmed like she was having a great time and all that. So we had a good time. It was great.
So Tom, the sort of famous scene with you and Sid in the gas station where you're face to face. One, it's amazing that two big heads were able to be fit in the frame.
No, that's what always amazes me. I look at that and I was like, those heads fit? Oh my God, what an amazing photograph that is. Yeah.
So you said a lot about improvising. Was a lot of that improvised, or did Rob write that? How did that scene play out?
It was a blend of the two. You know, when you get an opportunity to play with Sid, you play with it. You know, we have an intent that's supposed to be there, a clarity of who's supposed to be looking and doing what and who's supposed to be avoiding that thrust. So we did it in just a couple of takes, but every moment of it was pure fun. And I think it comes across on the screen. Yeah, we improvised a fair amount, but most of it was in the script. This is just what he wants, and you know, we gave it to him, theoretically.
Now, as actors, I've asked Sid this, and he just said that's how you're supposed to do it, being very modest, but the murder ride scene was done in one take. As actors, how hard is something like that to do in one take?
I enjoy one take because I'm not studied, etc., but I do analyze, and I've got an acting coach and all that. But so I try my best initially, and I like to just I go for the play. I score the basket, and then I think it's over. And so once you get into 3, 4, 5, 6 takes on something, it's like I feel like I'm doing the same thing. But of course, you have to do different camera angles, a master shot, close up, etc. But yeah, multiple takes is a little bit challenging for me. I like to get it out of the way quick.
Tom, what about you?
Doing a single take depends on the scene. You know, there's some brilliant single takes. Some of them, most of them are very long. Touch of Evil, Orson Welles, that opening scene with the car driving, you know, the guy puts the bomb in the car, and for the next 5 minutes, you watch them drive and wonder what the hell's gonna go on. Martin Scorsese, Goodfellas, going into the kitchen, that's one magnificent single take. And it probably was done in a single take. But you have to consider what's involved in the shot. If it's basically just following a group of people through a particular journey, it's simpler. But all of those people have to remember their lines, their action. How do you keep the pace up? How do you play with the other people? A single take is exquisite to get when it happens, but it is also profoundly difficult from time to time. You know, the fact that Rob can do it and got it in a single take is a testament to his ability to make all of those people comfortable and happy in a single moment. Because everybody has to be focused on that single moment and believe everything about it on every possible level. And that only happens rarely, I mean, in its totality, when everybody's on the same page doing exactly the same thing and believing it completely. That again goes back to the director. And Rob convinced us that, you know, this is what we're doing. And with that group and that shot, no question about it. I mean, he just, it's like letting the hounds loose with grenades. You know, you unleash them and then you pull the pin. And it happens. It's an amazing gift. I don't know what else I can say.
Did you notice anything different in his directing style from Corpses to Rejects, though?
Not in his directing style. What I noticed is the change in his choices between the two films. Corpses is almost a series of videos. You know, it has that same rock and roll theme to it. But Rejects is a more studied cinematic event. You know, he blends all these elements together. There's a through line and a pace that produces an effect at the end, which is what a movie is about. The style differences on screen are, I think, profound, but the stylistic differences behind the camera, no. It's still the same process of having fun and everybody enjoying everything that they do. It's, you know, it's what the director wants. He knows what he wants when he goes in, and he has the ability to bring you along on that particular journey.
Now, censorship is always a hot topic, and especially in the horror genre. What was your guys' take on the issues that Rob had to go through just to get an MPA rating of R for corpses?
I did a movie called Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer 20 years before that. Oh no, 85. When was Corpses? 99? 99? Okay, so 14 years before. I lose track of time.
No, 2000 and, well, the 10-year was
Last year.
Last year.
So 2003.
Yeah.
When it was released, but we shot it in 99.
Yeah.
Or 2000
Yeah,
because
because
it
it's
took a while.
shelved for 3 years.
Oh, right, that's what it was.
I'm
The
sorry.
same thing happened with Henry, you know, but Henry got an X rating for having something about a poor moral tone. You know, in other words, the hero didn't win at the end. He showed all this violence. The MPAA is a joke. It's like the FDA. They're an extension of a corporate entity, and if the corporations don't want a thing to happen in a particular way, the organization itself is going to flex that way. When the MPAA changed their ratings, it was because the major studios wanted to put out a movie called Henry in June, and that's when they came up with the variant ratings that would have driven this movie into an X rating, which would have been death for it. So, you know, censorship, I'm completely and diametrically opposed to it. Now you don't have to deal with it. You go directly to the internet if you want to create something really heinous. But in doing that, you have to deal with the process of limitation of an audience. The thing about a movie is it takes massive amounts of money. Even really low budget films cost huge amounts of money. And then there's the process of reproducing your film to get it into the movie houses. There's a process of distribution and advertisement that...
Advertisement, that's the big...
Yeah, I mean, you know, this is why the corporations control it, because they control the money. A lot of that is changing, but not really. You know, independent film is the salvation. It always has been the salvation, because corporations only think in terms of dollars and cents, and movies are a product of imagination. And there's nothing that's real about them, and corporations don't think that way. So you end up with a remake of Scooby-Doo, you know, which is, it's heinous, it's horrible, it's just disgusting, it's nauseating. But on the other end, you end up with movies like The Wrestler at the same time, coming out as an independently structured film. So the opportunities are still there, it's just that the process is probably not going to ever change. You know, it's a huge, huge industry that's, what can I say, it's a gamble for most people. I'm rambling, pay no attention to me.
We didn't have anything to do with the rating or any of that, so I don't have an opinion on it, but yeah, we'll see what happens on the next one.
Yeah, then you can tell them, you can,
That whatever happens, happens.
yeah, exactly.
So Tom, you've worked with a lot of amazing actors, but in Rejects working with William Forsythe, I can't think of two more intense people to work together. Tell us what it was like working with William.
Man, I have loved William Forsythe since the very first thing I saw him do. which was, oh God, was it Raising Arizona? I remember him in. But he's done, this is a man with serious range. There's nothing he can't do. He commits to it so completely. So when I got on set and saw that it was him, I was like, it was like a major man crush. Oh my God, that's William Forsythe. I can't believe it. I've never seen him. It's like it was embarrassing, man. I mean, even to this day, I turn red at the thought of it. But he was exquisite to work with, and we've been friends ever since. You know, but again, that's what Rob does. He brings these great people together and just sort of throws them in together. He knows how these people will get along almost before he ever puts them together. You know, I've never seen anybody he's chosen not have a great time with the people that they're working with. It's just, you know.
Now, a question for both of you. What do you think makes horror so popular? You know, the fans are rabid, they're intelligent, I've heard actors say they know more about the role that they play than the actor does. What do you think makes horror films be so strong with fans?
Let's see, my father brought it to my attention the other day. We were watching, he likes Sci-Fi Channel, an independent film channel, and he tells me, he gives me advice for my career a lot, and he tells me, man, you got to do more horror movies, they last longer, to your point. And I don't, you know, there's awesome classic movies that aren't horror movies that I enjoy, but I think the emotion and how gritty it is to hurt someone, and you know it's fake, but that emotion going through your body, because we all have it on occasions where something can happen to us, we feel disrespected on, you think to yourself, good, I wish I could, you know, to whatever degree or whatever point of your life you're in, whatever happened to you prior in that day, I think it's just a good emotional pull on you, and you enjoy reliving that sometimes in classic, awesome horror movies. I think that's what gives the longevity to it, in my assessment, simple assessment of a horror movie.
No, I agree. I think you hit on it. If you look at the history of horror movies, they parallel the politics of what's taking place around it. And in each instance, it's an escape and a statement about what is right or wrong with society. In the 30s, it was science gone mad. You have Frankenstein. It was the things that are unknown. You have Dracula evolving. You have the massive universal leveraging of horror. In the 50s, you get, what is it?
The Blob.
The Blob, but also, what is it, the Pod People?
Body Snatchers.
Body Snatchers, that's it. Man, the BBs are just not sticking these days. Yeah, the Body Snatchers, which is another extension of the society. It's the McCarthy era being responded to in a subliminal way that allows us to vent and feel free. When Robert said we feel these things, but we can't vent them openly in society. Horror movies do that for us. That's why we're dealing with the texture, mostly slasher movies. We're repressing a level of fear and violence that we can't express. It allows us that freedom. That's why zombies are so popular these days, in my opinion, because they are mindless masses of people doing what they believe they should do. All right? It's the red and blue states. It's the politics of America being expressed in film in a way that we can all respond to on a very deep, primordial level. It frees us. It gives us an opportunity not to think about it, but to feel it, which we need. This is what movies are about. You know, we are creatures of the story. We're the only species that I am aware of that tells stories, but we tell stories because they educate us, they teach us, they show us what is right and what is wrong. And those right and wrongs have never changed in the 5,000 years of literate storytelling, in other words, writing. From the moment they've been codified on a tablet or on papyrus, they are the same stories universally over and over again. And this is who we are. We need that unifying aspect. We're too divided. That's the horror of what's going on for me right now in America. You know, it's all about polarization. You know, you're over here, you're this color, you're that color. It's a much deeper process and horrifying process of trying to control us. And I don't like being fucking controlled. So, oh wait, I'm rambling again. Sorry, I just went off. I'm back now.
All right.
So segue into zombies, Tom, you have a tie to Pittsburgh. You played Harry Cooper in Savini's remake of Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah.
How did you get involved with that picture, and did you lean towards the original, or did you want to put your own spin on the role of Cooper?
I got involved because Tom Savini asked me to come in and audition for it. He'd seen Henry and how he drew the line between Henry and Harry Cooper, or, you know, Otis and Harry Cooper. I don't know, but Savini is another master of effects, and I think, again, he's a magnificent example of a first-time director who got caught short in terms of what it takes to direct. At that time, he had massive family problems going on at exactly the same time that he was shooting the movie, but he handled it, I think, brilliantly. In terms of what similarities all of us brought to in relation to the original, we all respected the original, but still the script that we got was sufficiently different that we felt we could put our own personal spin on it without ever disrespecting what had gone before. So yeah, I mean, Tony, Patricia, Billy, all of us were the same characters, but different personas in the new movie. Does that make sense?
Yes. So, Tom, you've been doing the convention scene for a while. Robert, you're a little new to the scene. What do you find is your favorite part of a horror convention?
Ben?
The fans are super cool. There was a kid yesterday, I guess he was about 4 years old, and he had the whole, is that Jason with the mask and the butcher's cleaver? And I thought that was so cute. And when I first thought about getting into this, I felt a little awkward because I played basketball until I was 30. You sign autographs because you've done well and you're flattered, and you sign autographs, and then with this, you kind of have to charge for it because it's part of the whole dynamic of it all. So when it was brought to my attention that I should do this from a horror director that has done very well for himself, Jim Van Bever, Charlie's Family, etc. I'm like, man, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna charge people for that. And he's like, dude, you're doing an injustice. They want your autograph. You should do this. And it took me a while to kind of like get over that aspect of it. But it seems like, and as he told me, the fans understand that, knowing that coming to the show. On a simple scale, it's very flattering for somebody to appreciate what you've done and want your autograph, and then they keep the picture and do whatever they do with it, and it just kind of feels good like that. That's what I like about it.
You know, you don't have to charge them.
I feel bad charging.
It's a choice
Shit,
that
anyway.
you can abandon if you want.
And then you'll get this, because I'm charging, I'm not charging, and you're charging.
No,
Make
man,
look
you're
bad.
you. I'm not gonna, yeah, no, I can be an asshole on my own. No, I'm perfectly capable and comfortable with that.
It took like 5 years to come to terms. And actually, in between roles, I've done doorman work, and driving to work like 3 years ago, I'm yawning, driving to work at 9 o'clock, and I'm 45 years old, and feeling like I don't want to be up at night anymore. And yeah, so that was kind of like part of the bridge over to the financial aspect of it. But it's fun, it's flattering when people want your autograph or stuff, etc.
I just like the fucking people. They're crazy, they're insane, they're delightful, and they always surprise me. There's something that happens with someone at one point or another that's just like, it takes your breath away with the excitement of it, the joy of it, and the fact that they think that highly of you. Everything else, you know, I'm not going to deny that it's pleasant to make a couple of dollars, but I don't like people for the most part. I stay away from them whenever possible. But I come to these and I change completely. It's like, these are some of the most wonderful, amazing, intense human beings who love a genre so completely, they come out to see it. And I don't know, man, it's fucking awesome. And like I say, I'm really not a people person. But I get here and it's like, it's exciting, it's delightful. I had a whole family, you know, come over and we talked for 20 minutes. I've had, you know how sometimes people can break your heart, they're so sweet and kind, that you just sit there and go, oh, thank you. I did not have any idea. There's no connection with anybody in movies. I mean, you are either completely isolated or you just disappear into the background. But you get to these and you see what's really going on. And it's a gift. It is a gift. And again, I will not deny I'm not averse to making money, and I will continue to charge for my autographs. But I love the fuck out of the people. They're just, man, they light me up. They light me up. It's scary sometimes. It almost makes you want to cry, you know. And it's too humiliating for me to cry publicly, but I can't help myself.
And for me, and being with him, sitting next to him,
it's just annoying. Come on,
Earl Keys last time, etc. I'm learning so much because I'm kind of like, I stay to myself and whatever. I'm not so much of a people person, limited social skills. I was an athlete, etc. And kind of a bad kid, basketball, inner city basketball dude. But I learned a lot from these veterans, you know. Keep your mouth shut.
What the fuck does that mean?
Now today, in this room right here.
I didn't just say old motherfucker.
It's old guys, they come in and they just talk some shit. Kiss a little ass, Rob, great, amazing, oh my God, that was so great.
No, I did not kiss Rob's ass.
I used the wrong word. Please give me a other movie. And yeah, we're just having a phenomenal time here. I'm learning from my senior citizen friends. It's just wonderful being here.
Well, from a fan's point of view,
excuse me. I'd like to pull my dick out now. Just shove it in his ear. All right, I'm done.
Now, just from a fan's point of view, and I probably can speak for everyone in the audience, it's, you know, being a horror fan, sometimes you can be an outcast. So seeing you guys, being able to meet you guys, it's something special for us that, you know, not a lot of genre films, you know, they don't have comedy conventions and things like that. So we appreciate you taking your time out and being able to come meet the fans.
Can I say just one more thing?
Sure.
You actually hit it. You hit it. Outcasts. Everyone in these rooms is an outcast, and I could not put my finger on it until this moment, but that's exactly what I am. I'm an outcast, and I'm meeting my family. It's so fucking intense. I couldn't even understand it until just this moment. We all sit on the periphery of everything. Fuck them all. We're here together. I love that shit.
I want to hear more about this Rated X movie and his whole theory about my ear. I didn't see the movie that he was in that was Rated X. Did you keep your clothes on?
Did I see it?
No, I haven't seen it. I don't watch I don't have black and white television to be able to see that.
I can't even begin to comment. I'm so hurt. Really, I mean, why is he so mean to me?
You're a fucking cop in the movie. I'm a bad guy. We're not supposed to get along here.
I was so nice to him all day, and he just so... Oh, okay, all right. I've gone too far.
Thanks, guys. It was...
So any questions from the audience?
Yes, please.
No,
sorry, not here.
Sure.
What do you think of the Twilight Blu-ray of the Night of the Living Dead remake? Did you watch it?
No.
You don't know, you never saw what they did to it?
He's awesome, man.
Twilight Blu-ray?
Of the Night of the Living Dead.
Not just a regular Blu-ray.
They changed the picture. They made it darker. Like in the daylight scenes, it's real dark the whole way through.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know if you got to see it yet. I just wanted to see what your opinion was.
Nate, the problem with everything I do is I never watch it.
Really?
I don't like to watch myself at all.
You have a Blu-ray?
Oh.
You see, he has, this is why.
That's just a question, guys. I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you have a Blu-ray? You gotta have a Blu-ray first, and then Twilight, is that like
It's a company. It's
Oh,
a
okay, I
company
know a
that puts
certain
out-
kind of Blu-ray, because I
Yes.
don't have a Blu-ray myself, actually. I'm not too far behind.
You're way behind me. I have a Blu-ray. I just never watched the
What's that?
fucking
Is
movie.
that for people that just want to watch it in the dark while they're falling asleep?
Pretty
It's like,
much.
this is great.
Yeah. Totally.
It was a
messed
good
them up.
movie. His performance was incredible. I loved him as the antagonist to the African American guy.
You learned antagonist?
Sitting next to you.
Oh my God.
He's increased my vocabulary over the weekend too.
At least 3 words. It's,
Might hurt himself later, so just watch
Yeah, I know.
it.
I don't know. I only can absorb a certain amount, and I'm right there at the fence of it. But it's getting bigger as I
Just one.
proceed. You know.
The gentleman in the back with the hat.
What were the horror movies that you enjoyed younger? Like some
When I
of
was-
these from the past. Like my favorite monster is Godzilla. You know, from like the original black and white, some in the 1980s.
Oh, me?
I just
He's more educated than I am. But I really like the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I went to the movie as a kid to see that. And when they put the credits up, not the credits, but the statement of, the news statement of the 1972, this, that, and the other, for some odd reason, I thought that was what really happened. So I'm watching the freaking movie, and that's like one of the movies that I really was immersed, you know what I'm saying? that right?
that's right.
Immersed into, to where I thought it was a true deal. I thought it was really what happened. They were recording an actual event, or really not a recording, just somehow you're at the movie watching it, the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That's my favorite horror movie of all time.
I'm not a big fan of slasher movies. I like real horror movies, the stuff that makes me go, oh shit, you know, like that. I'm kind of turned off by some of the arbitrary violence. I want something that sneaks up on me and just slaps me upside my head. My favorites are the original Haunting, 1963, with Julie Harris, the original Don Siegel Body Snatchers, those two are absolutely brilliant. I'm surprisingly fond of The Sixth Sense, because there are moments in that just, you know, you go, oh, fuck. It was this like, oh shit, that was good, that was creepy. That really just shocked me, you know. I can't think of anything right off outside of those right now that has stuck with me like they have. You know, those are neurological impressions now. They're just there forever. Everything else sort of slides across, but I mean, everything just goes. Whoosh.
I love the scoring of the original Halloween, and then the scoring of Jaws.
Oh yes, Jaws, the opening scene in Jaws, brilliant piece of horror.
Something's going to happen here. The story was phenomenal.
Sir?
Hey Tom, with the remake of Night being filmed in Washington, PA, pretty much right down the road. I mean,
Down the road.
Yeah. Do you have anything that sticks out from filming, like the filming location, like a story or anything that?
Really muddy, dirty, wet, clammy, uncomfortable, and it was perfect for the mood of the movie. I mean, you're physically distressed as an actor, I mean, as a person working in that environment. There's nothing about it that was comfortable until you knocked off for that day. That, I think, added to the texture. It added to the tension between all of us, because everybody was a little cranky and on edge throughout the entire shoot. And, you know, it's one of those moments where things work in concert to create something that is really interesting. It's a nice synergistic effect that you hadn't anticipated, that you didn't particularly enjoy, but it worked. You know, because I think it's actually a really good movie. It's an homage as much as it is a remake. You know, it's honoring what happened before. So in the long run, I enjoyed making it immensely. At the time, it was like, Jesus Christ, what is this fucking shit? Damn it! You know, but that's also the joy of it. One of the great things about being in the industry and being an actor is that even when it's miserable, I mean, and I've been in some miserable shit, it's magnificent. It's absolutely the best choice I've ever made in my life. And, you know, when you're buried up to shit at 12 degrees, it's like, oh, fuck me! You know, but when it's all over, you think, oh God, I love that so much. It's crazy. But clearly, I am an outcast, just like the rest of you. And I'm damn proud of it.
Well, thank you guys very much for taking some time. If you haven't seen them, go check them out at their tables. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me. Thank you for coming out, guys.